So good day, everyone. Today is our day five of this capacity building training for 1,000 Nigerian civil servant on ICT, which is organized by Hammad Technologies and Consultancy Limited. So as always, we start by showing our outlines. That is what we are going to cover for the day. And our outlines for today goes like this. Number one, which is recap on day four. We will briefly discuss on what we have uh, taught on day four. Then moving to keyboard. Today's class is not going to be that long. Today's class is going to be short. We are going to discuss only on keyboard, and there is no any practical for this keyboard, I think. So we only discuss on keyboard. Then moving to question and answer session. Then move to conclusion. So a recap on day four. Yesterday, we discussed on delete, how you can delete it by right-clicking on the file or the folder by right-clicking on it, then go to delete. And we also know if we delete a file, where that file will go. So we also know that. Then we also talk about permanent delete, how you can delete an item, or how you can delete a folder, or how you can delete a file permanently. And also talk about difference between permanent delete and permanent delete. Delete is when you delete an object, it will go to the recycle bin, but when you permanently delete it, so that file or folder will just go. And we also show how you can permanently delete an object by following the file or folder into recycle bin. So from there, you just right click on it and delete it permanently. Then we also talk about restore or recovery, how you can restore a deleted file, a file that you have deleted already. So how you can recover it, how you can restore it. We also show that by going to recycle bin, right click on it, then click on restore. So that's all what we have discussed on day four. So now moving on to our today's class, we are going to discuss on keyboard. Normally, a keyboard is an input device used to type text, numbers, and commands into a computer. All what you are seeing on papers, on these A4 papers, you see some sign, you see some A4 papers, they draw, they put some signs, some shapes like rectangle, triangle, they type a letter. So all that, all those work is done by using what? By using this keyboard you are seeing. So, and this keyboard has a lot of keys. There are a lot of keys there on this keyboard. So just keyboard is an input used to type text, numbers, and commands into a computer. So it's an input device because we only insert input or we only insert data using the keyboard. So as I said, keyboard has many keys. So we'll discuss on them one by one after the other. We'll start discussing on keyboard. And the main use of this keyboard, maybe for example, now those if you are working on admin, maybe you want to write an official letter. So you can, without keyboard, you cannot write that official letter. Although there is on-screen keyboard that you can use to type, but without keyboard, you cannot. Although yes, even the on-screen keyboard is a keyboard. So without keyboard, I don't think there is a way you can type that official letter, or if you want to enter staff records, or maybe you want to prepare a payroll, a monthly payroll, or maybe you want to send an email. So, and you know, while sending an email, you have to put subject, body, and other things. So this is the use of keyboard. So now, there, as I said earlier, keyboard has a lot of keys. So now we'll discuss on them one by one, part of keyboard. So the number one is alphanumeric keys. So when we say alphanumeric keys, we mean as the word appear, alphanumeric. Alpha means alphabet, while numeric means what? Numbers. So this alphabet, they are the letters from A to Z on your keyboard. All the letters you are seeing A to Z on your keyboard. So that is alpha. That's alphabetic keys. So that's what we call alphabetic keys. That's a letter from A to Z. Then We also have numeric keys, which is from 0 to 9. That's you see them at the second line of your keyboard. You see them from 1 to 0. So that's why they combine alphanumeric keys. It means alphabetic keys and numeric keys. Alphabetic keys are the A, B, C, D up to Z, while numeric keys are the numbers. That's from 0 to 9. So that's all about alphanumeric keys. If you check on your keyboard, you see all these alphabetic keys and numeric keys. Alphabetic keys are the A to Z, while numeric keys are 0 to 9. Then we also have functions keys. So these function keys are the keys from F1 to F12. That's what we call function keys. So these function keys now, each of them has a special role depending on the program you are doing, depending on what you are doing with the computer, these function keys. So depending on what you are doing with the computer, so depending on the role they will perform, or depending on the function they will perform. Maybe you are using Word. So what the function keys will perform while you open Microsoft Word in your computer is different from when you open Microsoft Excel or PowerPoint, or maybe you open email, or maybe you open a Chrome browser. So it depend on the program you are doing with your computer. So we just have a small hint on them. So, but it depend on the role you are working on with your computer. Like for example, now F1. You know F1 sometimes F1 when you are on Microsoft Word, if you press F1, it will just show help. So maybe you are doing something. So maybe you want to ask Microsoft Word for help. So by just clicking on F1, it will help you. If you are in Word. But now in some computers, there are F1, you will see a unmuting sign, a speaker with cancel sign. So you can also use that to what? You can also use that to mute your computer speaker. So that's why I said this function keys F1 to F12, it depends on the role you are performing with your computer. It depends on the program you are doing with your computer. So then F2, for example, now F2 rename a folder. Maybe if you just right click, if you just want to click on your folder and press F2, so it will just rename your folder. But if it is on some computers now, you will see the way you can decrease volume. It's where you can decrease volume. So as I said earlier, it depends on the program you are doing with your computer. Moving to F3, maybe if you want to increase volume of your computer, but normally F3, if you press F3, it will just open a Windows Explorer. So that's it. Moving to F4, F4 now, it will just, if you combine F4 with another key, we will move to it. So it will just exit your program. But in here now, you see it. But in Microsoft Excel, maybe you want to lock a formula. If you just click F4, it will just lock that formula for you. So that's how they work. This is what we call function keys from F1 to F12. Like this now, in my own computer, if I just press F12, you just be increasing the screen light of my monitor. And if I press F11, it will be decreasing it. F10, it will show screen light of my keyboard. So it depends on the program you are running. It depends on the function they will perform to you. That's function keys. Then moving to control keys. Control keys, we have control in your system. You see CTRL, maybe by the left and the right of your keyboard. You see them some, yeah, there are two. We also have Alt. You see Alt at the left and also the right in some computer, or in some computer. So the keyboard arrangement is differ from some of our computers. We also have Windows key. Yeah, normally Windows key is not something that is hidden. If you just open your laptop or computer, or you just carry a keyboard, you see a window key. If you know Windows sign, so you just see it there. And also what we also have escape. Escape is, you just see it at the top, at the first row, together with function keys. That's where you see escape. So now let's just talk on some of them. So this now control so these keys now, control and alt, they cannot work only them. Maybe, for example, you want to click control and you want it to perform something for you in computer. Without combining this control with any other key, it will not work. Like alt also, it will not work. This control and alt. You cannot just come and click control. So it will do what for you. So you have to combine it with other key. Alt also the same thing. For example, now if you want to copy an object with and you don't want to right click on it, then press copy. You can just press Control with C, so it will copy it. So you see, Control. So these are what they sometimes we call them modifiers keys. They help you modify your keys. Now, C, for example, now let's say, for example, you want to copy something. C can work on its own. Maybe if you are into Microsoft Word, you can press C, yeah, and it can work. But when you press Control, it will not do anything. So you see, so now is that control now that modified that C for each word for it to work. So without control, shortcut of copy cannot work. So you see, but it just serves as a modifier, but C can work on its own. It's like a bride. Let's say, for example, maybe a bride want to get married without makeup. Yes, the marriage can still hold, but that makeup is what modify her to look more beautiful and identify, okay, so this is the bride among her friends. Or the dress she wear. Without that dress, yeah, she's still a bride. But that dress now is what makes her to look like a bride and differentiate her among her friends. So this control and alt, we also call them modifiers, but we also call them control keys. They work with other keys. Like alt now, maybe if you want to shut down your computer, or you want to restart your computer, or you want to hibernate it, by holding alt and F4, so it can work. So as you see now, F4 can work. F4 can work. If you press F4, like I said, for some in Microsoft Excel, it will lock your formula for you. It will lock the function you write. But combining F4 with Alt now, it will help you maybe if you want to put your computer on sleep, restart, or hibernate. So you just have as modify. So this Windows key, we also have Windows key. So Windows key, it often start menu. Our start menu, maybe by just clicking on function this window key, uh, it will just pop up this our startup menu. Then escape. ESC, that's what we call escape. So this escape now, it cancel an action or a dialog box. It cancel an action. Maybe you are doing something. Now, for example, now let's take, for example, maybe you open a slide on a Microsoft Word by pressing F5. You know, if you press F5 now, it will open the PowerPoint of your slide. It will open the PowerPoint of your slide into slideshow. So by clicking on escape now, it will close that action. It will just close it and come back to the normal PowerPoint slide. So this escape is just cancel an action, or it close a dialog box. So uh that's all about escape. So now let's move to the next agenda on our today's. So now we also have navigation keys. These navigation keys are the arrow keys, home, and page up and page down. So now these arrows keys, you see them at the top edge, at the top bottom, no, at the bottom of your keyboard by the right. We have up arrow, we have down arrow, we have left arrow, we have right arrow. We also have page down, we also have page up, and we also have home, and we also have end. So now let's just briefly explain this navigation keys. So these navigation keys, these arrows, they help you move around your documents. Maybe you open a document, so you want to move around that document. So they help you to move around. Or maybe you open an Excel file. So they help you to move around that Excel file. Maybe you want to move from this cell to this cell, or you want to move from this column to this column. So they help you do that. For example, now these arrows keys. You see arrow showing up, you see arrow showing down, you see arrow showing left, and you see arrow showing right. So the one showing up if you want to go up, show the one showing down if you want to go down, maybe you want to navigate from up to down of your computer. The one going left is when you are going left, the one going right is when you are going right. Then home, you see what this some computers, you see their left arrow key, they write home on it, while some you see their right arrow, they write end on it. So now this end, it only jump to the end of line. It jump to the end of line of your document. Then we have page up and page down. Now, let's say, for example, now you open a Microsoft Word. You know, in Microsoft Word page, we have header and we have footer. So now maybe you want to go to the header of the paper. So if you just press page up, it will just carry you directly to the what? To the uh, to the header of that it will just carry you to the header of the paper. While if you press page down, it will carry you to the footer. That's the bottom. That's the end of the paper. So this is the work of this navigation keys. Also, you have arrow keys, home, and page up and page down. Then moving to numeric keys, numeric keypad. So this numeric keypad, they works like a calculator. You know this market calculator. Maybe if you went to market, all this where they used to buy all these retailers that have a store, you see their calculator. So the way the keys on that calculator is the same thing on our laptop or our it's the same thing on our keyboard. But some computers have those numeric keypad, while some does not have. Like my own now, my own computer does not have this numeric keypad. It does not. You see it at the end of your right. It looks like a calculator keypad. It starts from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then 0. The way your calculator keypad looks like is the same thing with this numeric keyboard. And it also has plus, minus, multiplication, and also division. But before you can use them, you have to what? There is something, there is one key on this numeric keypad. You have to press num lock. So by just clicking on this num lock now, so it can allow you to be using them. But without clicking it, you can only use these numeric keys that are at the down of your function keys. But by clicking on that num lock, it will allow you to work with them. But without clicking it, it will not allow you to work with it. So this is all about numeric keypad. It also look like what we call it a calculator keyboard. Normal calculator, the way our calculator, this market calculator, is the same thing with plus, sign, division, and multiplication. So that's how this numeric keypad is. Then we also have special keys. These special keys are enter. You see it's enter, spacebar, backspace, delete, shift, caps lock, and tab. So now let's explain them one by one. This enter now. This enter, maybe if you want to start a new line, or you want to confirm an action. So this is when you can use this enter. Maybe you are writing a file. So maybe you finish writing the first paragraph. So you want to move to next paragraph, you just click enter, it will just go to a new line. Or maybe you want to, maybe you are using your computer to chat on WhatsApp. So after maybe you have finished writing what you want to send, by just clicking on enter now, so it will just perform that action and send that message. So that's why this enter start a new line, or it confirms a command. Then backspace. Backspace it delete left. You see it at the top. So it delete left. Then delete, it remove a text or a file. So now let me so then I jump a space bar. So space bar, maybe you finish writing a word. Maybe you want to write your name, Aliyu Muhammad. So after you finish writing Aliyu, you know there is space between first name and surname. So by just after you finish writing Aliyu, so you have to press this space bar. You see, this is the longest key on our screen at the bottom. So by clicking on it now, it will give a space. Then you can continue writing. After you finish writing a word, space, word, space continuously. Then backspace. So now let me differentiate between this backspace and delete. I said backspace, it delete left, while delete, it remove a text completely or a file. And now this backspace now, it will remove character to the left of your cursor. Don't worry, you understand all this when we come to Microsoft Word next week. When we are going to teach you shortcut keys, you understand all this. But this one now will just explain it to you and know where they are located on your keyboard. So don't worry, by next week, inshallah, you know how to use all this. So as I said, this backspace, it removes the character to the left of the cursor. Maybe you are writing a meeting, maybe MEETINNG. So maybe you want to remove that N, one N. So by just, if you carry your cursor between T and N, so if you just click backspace now, it will just delete that one N and leave the rest. So it's just remove the character to the left of the cursor. Then delete function, Shiguma, delete function removes the character to the right of the cursor. This one remove character to the left of the cursor. This one remove character to the left of the cursor. Then also backspace, it erase backward. For example, now if you are writing with pencil, maybe you write universities. So maybe you want to delete that S. Maybe, you know, if you are going to use your eraser to start cleaning, you start from your left, click one word, click. So that's how backspace work. Why delete it? Erase forward. It clear what comes after the cursor. What comes after the cursor, it will just clear it. That's the difference between backspace and delete. So then moving to tab, caps lock and tab. This caps lock is when you want to start your typing and you want all your letters to be in capital letters. So by just clicking on it, you see it is in the top of this top of shift. So by just clicking on it, it will, all what you are going to type, it will appear in capital letters. We also have shift also. So shift is also serve as a modifier key. You cannot just press shift and be expecting it to perform a work for you. No, you cannot just press shift and expect it to work. You have to combine it with another work. For example, now maybe you want to start typing. Maybe you want each letter of the first name and surname to be in capital letters. So maybe you want to write Aliu. So before you write that A, if you hold shift with that A will appear in capital letters. So you see, normal small letter A can work. Yes, it's fine. But shift cannot work only. You have to combine it with another function. So that's how shift works. It just serves as a modifier. Then caps lock, yeah, caps lock is when you want to start, or when you want your writing to be all in capital letters. We also have tab. So this tab, maybe if you want to move your cursor to the maybe you want to move your cursor to the next set position. Maybe you are writing a project and the supervisor will say each and every normally paragraph used to start with a space. You see a long space. So instead of you to be pressing space bar, tap, 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 tap. So by just clicking on this tab, it should just give a space, which indicates that this is a uh, paragraph. So this is all about the part of keyboard we have. Uh, so moving to the next agenda in our slide, which is our question and answer. So please, if you have any question, you can drop it in the chat. We just have less than 4 minutes. I have seen some people have dropped some. Also, this one say on this function keys, on my laptop computer, it is a volume sign, but on my desktop, I can make my font capital letter. It is not working with the Shift F3 on the laptop. How can I use it, please? So now Normally, as I said earlier, it depends on the role you are doing with your computer. So now this your function keys that you said on my laptop computer, it is a volume sign. So on my own computer now, F1, F2, F3, F4, all of them have volume sign. So you said yes, if you press Shift and F3, it will make your first letter capital O. Maybe you want to capitalize them all. So even on my computer, you can use it. So it is not working the Shift plus F3 on the laptop. How can I use it, please? So guys, this is your question. So there is this keyboard, guys, it differs. It differs. You see some keyboard now, if you want to read, but maybe just try Shift with other functions. Maybe this function that you want to perform, Shift plus F3, is not normally F3, but maybe you can use another function with Shift to see whether if it will work. You understand? Because laptop differs, desktop differs, and even the keyboard differs. So just try it with another DC. So Shift plus F3 only works in Microsoft Word, not everywhere on your laptop. Yeah. Thank you for this clarification. This Shift plus F3 is only work on Microsoft Word, but not everywhere in our laptop. Like on my own laptop now, if I press F3, if I press F3 now, it will, if I press function with F3 now, it will increase the volume without me going to the monitor and be pressing this and be pressing volume. So it will just increase the volume. Shift plus F3, no, function plus F3 on my computer is volume add. And also, if you press only F3 now, it will show menu bar. Yeah, it will show menu bar. So Shift plus F3 on Microsoft Word is maybe you want to capitalize first letter of your word. You want to capitalize all your word, or maybe you want to make them small. So that's the function of this Shift F3. So if you have any question, please, you can ask. So it is on the Microsoft Word and it works on my desktop for capitalization. Yeah, normally for capitalization, Shift plus F3, that's the work it does. So if you have any question, please, you can drop it because we have less than less than 1 minute. The meeting will just end in less than 1 minute. So if you have any question, please, you can drop it. But doesn't work on the laptop. Yes, I said keyboard differs. I said Shift F, try Shift with other function and see whether if it will work. On my laptop keyboard, I have seen FN and Alt GR. What does that control key all about? Alt and Alt GR is the same thing. Alt and Alt GR. Don't worry if we start if we start teaching Microsoft Word next week, you understand all this. So in less than 1 minute, the class is going to end. So if you have any question, please, you can drop it in the chat. Inshallah, you will be expecting your video in the night or tomorrow morning, the recorded class. So I think for the absence of question, I think we can call it a day.